Netflix enters the ring to buy Warner Brothers. The box office tanks for Halloween, and 2 trailers have our attention. That and more coming up right after this. Welcome to Multiverse News, your source for information about all your favorite fictional universes. My name's Matthew Carroll, and with me on the panel today we have Haley Hobbs. What's happening, Haley?
Hey there, howdy. I can't believe it's early November.
Yeah, it's already the 4th. I can't either. It's crazy. And Jay Sisson.
Yeah, to all you youth out there, whenever you hear people say, like, as you get older, time gets faster, like, as a kid, you're like, that's fake. That's not real. It is real. It's 100% real. And it's, and so just at this right time where we're all having this existential conversation, daylight savings time happened, and now it's dark at 5 o'clock. So we're doing great over here. Seasonal depression is in full swing, baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And J. Scotty St. Clair, what's happening, bud?
Oh, not too much. We're recording this on the 4th of November, but by the time people are listening to this, it will be the 5th of November. So remember the 5th of November.
Nice.
It's indeed. It's good to be back here with you guys. I missed you all last 2 weeks. It's weird. I haven't done this podcast in 3 weeks, and that feels weird. That's the longest time since we started this podcast that I haven't been on it. So
wow,
feels like too long. So happy to be back with you guys.
Welcome back, Cotter.
As a married man.
That's me, married man. Crazy. They said it would never happen. That no one would ever nail me down.
Talk it to the haters.
All right. Well, we like to start the show with a 5-star review. Running Daredevil says, "What a great podcast! I like hearing the latest news about TV shows and movies. Also, everybody on the show always has good jokes. I like Scotty's impressions, and everyone is always in a good mood. I am looking forward to hearing Daredevil season 2 of Born Again. Thanks to Disney for the audio descriptions. Keep up the good work and the positive vibes." Sweet.
I'm glad you think we're always in good moods.
we
perform that well.
Oscar-winning acting going on this podcast, you guys. Didn't know, did you?
Didn't know. Yeah, before we go live, we're just like, "What's up, guys?"
This guy again.
At the risk of making an ass of myself by assuming, it sounds like this listener may be visually impaired by shouting out the audio descriptions and with the name Running Daredevil. So, if that's the case, very, very happy that you are able to tune into a show like this and still be able to enjoy it and a great show like Daredevil. I'm glad you have that representation if that's the case.
Yeah, it's super cool. And that audio descriptions are really cool. I occasionally, if I'm like busy doing something, I'll throw them on, and like when I want to watch something that I can't, like if it's almost like an audiobook if you use the audio descriptions.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a note on that review, that is our actual last Apple review. We finally caught up, and so we are at the point. So if no one gives us a review in the next 7 days, we're not going to have one to read. So if you are thinking, maybe I should do that at some point, or maybe you've been putting it off, and maybe you want to get your voice heard on the cast, go throw a review up so you can be the next in line.
Is it in the ring? It's like 7 days. Is that right? 7 days.
Yeah.
It is 7 days in the ring.
Yeah.
Yes.
So guys, we're 7 days from not having a 5-star review to read next week. 7 days. The countdown begins. It's up to all of you to keep us from being attacked by the girl from the ring.
I was about to say, is something bad going to happen? This feels ominous.
If we run out of 5-star reviews, we get attacked by the girl from the ring. I think that's what happens.
Me first.
Been running.
Me first.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Goodness. You guys thought you were in a good mood, and instead you want to do suicide by girl from the ring.
Listen, when I get home from work and I get out of my car and it's dark outside, I'm just different, I'm worse. I'm going to make it everybody else's problem.
Daylight savings time has made me worse. Wait, are we in daylight saving times or are we not in daylight savings time?
We're in it because we fell back.
We're in it because we're
in it.
time.
So we saved. Yeah. Okay. I forget which way it goes.
It's all terrible, but we're in it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into our first story, you guys. The battle for Warner Brothers Discovery is seeing a new champion enter the ring, with Netflix making some moves to put their own bid into the studio's properties like DC, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, HBO, all the Discovery properties, all of that. According to Reuters, the streaming pioneer engaged with investment bank Moelis Co. in order to prepare an offer. Ironically, this is the same bank that worked with David Ellison at Skydance to take over Paramount, whose first bid to buy Warner Brothers Discovery was rejected. We know the company has received several bids from other parties. Will the price of intellectual property be too high for anyone?
This story continues to evolve interestingly. There's something a little more palatable, perhaps, about Netflix potentially being the buyer for the Warner Brothers Discovery properties, unless you're Scotty, who doesn't believe in Netflix because he doesn't subscribe to it anymore, and he won't share his password with
this
anybody
is all just to get Scotty to sign up. That's the whole reason right here.
They're greasing the wheels. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But it's getting kind of long and drawn out at this point, too, as it says in the article, and I had to make sure I was right when I was putting this together. They did reject Skydance's first offer, so whatever that number was, and I'm sure it was not insignificant, that wasn't good enough. And you kind of wonder, Jay has said before, like the David Zaslav was brought to Warner Brothers to do this, to get it ready to be sold. But I don't know, just as I read these articles and I think about it, I'm like, at what cost are you selling this studio basically to another studio? And it's an odd thing. It's probably one of the biggest, until somebody else does a merger of this size, it's going to be one of the biggest we've ever seen. And there's just something, we've talked about it before, there's something off about it, but it's also kind of like, when I was writing it, I was like, it's more like the battle for the soul of intellectual property. It's kind of how it feels when you read this stuff. And I know we've all said that before as well, but Netflix might have the gains, and it's their streaming history has gone up and down. I feel like they're in an up. So if they're going to do it, maybe this is the time.
Well, and this is just art of the deal. I mean, you never accept the first offer, and then you bring other people in to try to drive the price up. And so, yeah, Zaslav's trying to squeeze every dollar out of the shareholder value. That's what's going to happen, is the buying company is going to buy all the shares. And so if you own shares in Warner Brothers, you'll get paid X amount of dollars. And so it's in David Zaslav's best interest to try to make sure that whatever that number amount is, that it's the highest possible number, because he is going to be getting a nice chunk of money from this as well. So he has personal interest. And then everybody who's in the upper suite at Warner Brothers is going to have special interest and stockholders and stuff like that. So we're kind of seeing the dance right now a little bit in public. I did think it was interesting that Netflix hired the same bank that Paramount and that Skydance used to purchase Paramount. We know Ellison is in charge of Skydance and Paramount, and is like really coming after Warner Brothers, really wants that. And I ultimately think that Paramount and Ellison, I think that will be the winner of this bid eventually, when all is said and done, like when the smoke clears. If we could fast forward a couple years, I just think you've got a massive amount of money into that company. They've made their intentions extremely clear that is what they want to do. They're already kind of greasing the wheels with the government, and when you talk about like getting a merger approved and stuff like that. So I think that's where it's going. I hate it either way, to be honest. I think when it merges, if it were to merge with Netflix, it's going to have the same fallout on the industry that it would have if it merges with Paramount, in that all the intellectual property is slowly forming under 2 or 3 companies instead of being diversified. That means less opportunity. It means less projects getting made. It means tons of layoffs. It means creatives getting slashed across both companies, and people that are in the field getting slashed, less places to pitch your thing. It's just all of the problems with mergers. And so I think it's going to happen. It's no secret. Warner Brothers will be bought by someone. It's just a matter of time. But Netflix is an interesting contender. But like I said, I hate it either way, which I just think it's bad for the industry either way.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if this would mean all of WB's content would only be on Netflix, like in streaming form.
They've talked about chopping it up before, because it's not just, Warner Brothers owns a lot of stuff. They own a lot of property. They own the Discovery branch. They acquired that a while back. And so theoretically they could farm it out. They could sell, well, these news networks, this Discovery, these properties here, those properties there. Like they could kind of do that if they wanted, but I would imagine if you're Ellison and Paramount, you just want the whole thing. So that's an interesting conversation too. Is like, could pieces of it be broken up? Which it definitely could be.
Yeah, I think in general, the marketplace is better off the more these companies are broken up. Of course, if they're sold off, they're going to probably just be sold off to a different conglomerate. So it's just going to, it's really, and we've talked about the political alignment of a lot of these things happening. I don't know about Netflix is not as scary to me as David Ellison, or is it, David Ellison, right?
Yeah, David
Just
Ellison.
said it. Ellison.
Yeah, Ellison was the head of Skydance, who now is the head of Paramount too.
Yeah, his dad is also an Ellison, and I just couldn't remember if I was saying the right Ellison. Yeah, it's billionaires owning everything. It's just a bummer, and it's just our properties that we love getting traded around like poker chips, and I don't love that, and we've all said, feels soulless, and it feels the money side, and how is it going to affect all the things we love and the things in the direction of those things. Star Trek just got sold with the Paramount merger, and so like we're dealing with all that. Like, this is just basically all these Star Trek creators who've been wanting to make things for years are now just going to these billionaires and being like, "Can we make it, please?" Like, nope, not that one. Yes, this one. No, not that one. And it feels so arbitrary and not necessarily creative focused at all. So it all just makes me sad for the industry. This kind of merging everything.
Yeah, I don't have too much more to add. On the surface, like everyone's kind of said, I don't love it. But contemplating Netflix versus Paramount, Netflix does seem like the lesser of two evils. And you may be surprised to hear me say that. But I think the benefit there is like Netflix, like we've talked about it, Netflix is in dire need of IP. Like Stranger Things is coming to an end this year. And they really don't have all that much more to offer outside of like the reality TV that we've been talking about. So in terms of, keeping a lot of these shows and series and movies intact, I like the odds of Netflix a little bit more because I've already heard when it comes to Paramount. And if I'm not mistaken here, it's not just one offer that's been rejected so far. I think it's upwards of 3 offers at this point that have been rejected. So it's they're really vying for this, and it's important, and there's a lot of stakes there. But I have heard in the ether that Paramount is pretty confident that they're going to kill HBO Max if they acquire this thing. And, Netflix may turn around and do the same exact thing because they are the place to go for so many people, even though the content is lacking, in my opinion. That's part of the reason I've left. So many people, it's just like Netflix is a staple. Netflix is not going anywhere. When I'm going to watch something, I queue up Netflix and scroll endlessly. And that is a little bit of the problem there too. It's a double-edged sword. I see both sides of it. Like if HBO Max does go by the wayside and all this content makes its way to Netflix, then I'm right there in the same boat, the same problem, just even more stuff to scroll through. And I feel even more bogged down and indecisive about what I'm going to choose. And that's often why I find myself going to places like Hulu and Apple TV and, here lately HBO Max, because it is just a little more streamlined. I know that the quality is there. So I am reminded, going back to like the late 2010s, like 2018 through 2019, I do think Warner Brothers was kind of in a similar position. And I look at the impact that had on the DCEU and people like Walter Hamada, like, making pretty questionable decisions all in an effort to fatten and line their pockets as they were on their way out the door. And I think that had a serious impact on the DCU. So my biggest fear is that the same thing would end up happening to the fledgling DCU here with James Gunn, or I think Harry Potter and some of these other properties that we're talking about are in a little less danger. But yeah, like everyone has said, ultimately, I would just prefer that it remains an entity. If it has to get sold, maybe there's just some outside party like Richard Branson. I don't know what you're up to today. I don't know what your leanings are or anything like that. But if Virgin Mobile wants to come in and start their own streaming service, I think I'd be more open to that than everything else that we're talking about here.
I got like $14 to chip in. Anybody else want to throw in?
Can we pull this thing?
Make a conglomerate. Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's
do
do
the people by the people.
We're a conglomerate too, just by saying so.
Sign up for Patreon. We'll make it happen.
Let the buyout begin.
I think the cultural conversation here too is that people are very frustrated with the idea of streaming in general and kind of the just the slow sort of clumping together of these companies. And I know this because I'm a sports fan, and the sports world has been rocked over the last week with streaming. Okay, because what happened is YouTube TV and Disney failed to reach an agreement about their properties, like Disney properties like ABC, ESPN, FX, all the Disney stuff. They failed to reach an agreement with YouTube TV about putting these things on YouTube TV. And so sports fans, particularly people who watch the NFL, and college football in particular is the big one, a lot of those key marquee games, so like Monday Night Football is on ESPN. A lot of the big games on Saturday for college football are on ESPN. And so now all of that got yanked. So everybody's paying out the rear for YouTube TV every month. It's like $70 or something. They're paying all this money for YouTube TV. They're paying for NFL Sunday Ticket. They're paying for all this stuff. Then you have to have Amazon to watch Thursday Night Football. You have to have Netflix to watch the games on Christmas because those games get sold to them. And it's just like Apple wants in the ring. They want to pull a game away. Peacock wants to pull a game away and be a playoff game exclusive. So it's like people who watch sports are so frustrated, and I think the whole like ESPN dropping off of YouTube TV, like that was a final straw for a lot of people, because it's just like a lot of people are just like, I just want to watch the games, but you've become so penny pinching that you have to farm out all these games across 10 streaming services and 10 different paid subscriptions, to where if I want to watch every game, I got to drop literally thousands of dollars every sports season to watch all the games. And it's just like this past week, a lot of people are just frustrated. They don't know who to be frustrated at. They're just frustrated at the system. They're like, the system's greedy. I hate everybody. I know Disney wants me to hate YouTube TV. I know YouTube TV wants me to hate Disney, but I just hate both. Like that's how everybody feels. And so I think there's a lot of pushback to this from different corners because of the cost that's being driven on the consumer is just getting worse and worse all the time. Technology was supposed to make things easier, and it made it harder, in this instance when it comes to entertainment. And I think a lot of people are feeling that right now.
For sure. My mom, I don't follow sports at all. I've made that clear across this podcast network.
One more time for the people in the back.
do not watch any sports. But my mom was a big Auburn fan, just her family would always watch it. And so she asked me to help her get the Auburn game one weekend, and I could not figure it out. I went and I bought ESPN streaming service, and I thought it'd be there. It wasn't. And then I went through different, I literally couldn't figure out how to find the Auburn game for her. It's as someone not knowing anything about sports, I was just or how those streaming services all interconnect. I was just I have no idea, Mom. I can't find the Auburn game right now. And I was busy, so it didn't spend hours looking, but I was just spent 10 minutes trying to figure it out, bought a streaming service, did the thing, just no, it's not here, it's not there. I don't know what to do. I got to go somewhere else. I got to do something else to do. So she still hasn't figured out how to watch her Auburn every week, and I think maybe it's on local TV. I don't even know how to get that right now. I got to get one of those antennas. It's a whole thing, man.
I just want an app that says sports, and I can just click on it, and they're just all there. They're just there,
I thought that's what ESPN would be. I just kind of assumed they'd have most of the stuff, but I guess it was very naive of me.
No, that's the thing. That's what's if you pay for ESPN Plus, that doesn't get you the game. It's so frustrating. So if you're paying for ESPN Plus, that Disney bundle is $45 or something.
Mm-hmm.
If you get ESPN, Hulu, Disney.
Yeah.
ESPN Plus doesn't let you stream Monday Night Football. It's crazy. It just makes you insane.
Terrible. Well, I guess moving on to our next story. It was the worst weekend at the box office this year, with ticket sales coming in at just over $52.4 million. This also makes it the lowest grossing Halloween weekend in 31 years, excluding theater closures due to COVID in 2020. While new film Regretting You took a respectable $50 million, Black Phone 2 really has the crown from the weekend, having now brought in $104 million globally. Another huge win for horror this year. Yorgos Lanthimos' new film Bugonia, starring Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons, is sitting at a small $11.1 million globally after breaking into more theaters. Other factors may play into the box office low for this year, but what do we think?
I'm choosing to be optimistic. Yeah, when you look at the facts here, the lowest grossing Halloween in 31 years. Woo! What's going on? What's happening here? But like I said, I choose to be optimistic because I think it was a couple of weeks back, but we were kind of doing our fall movie preview, and I was looking ahead at November, and I was like, hey, we got Predator Badlands going right into The Running Man, going into Wicked, and we got some animated releases alongside that. I think Zootopia might be at the end of the month too. So my hope and expectation here is that people are saving their money so that they can patronize these movies that are coming out, and that we're going to have a really great and successful holiday box office. Again, being really, really optimistic here. But I did make it out to the theater, and I saw Bugonia from Yorgos Lanthimos here, and I really, really enjoyed it. I don't know if I liked it more than Kinds of Kindness, which was his last film, but I've been debating whether or not I like it as much as Poor Things from a couple of years ago, which went on to net some Oscar wins and a lot of nominations there. I'll be curious to see if this film goes the distance, because there just hasn't been a lot of buzz with it. And I think even with an opening like this at 11.1 million, it's a little more muted than some of his other films that have had a little more conversation and buzz going around them. But you can always bank on Emma Stone. She brings it. Jesse Plemons, I think, is the one person that may get a best acting nom here, and I think it's definitely deserved. So yeah, again, it's not doom and gloom from my perspective, just a little bit of a calm before the storm. That will be a phenomenal holiday box office here. And if it's not, people are going to have some splaining to do.
It's always dicey to take like anecdotal evidence and try to like blow it up to like statistical big deals like this. But I wonder if just like a lot of people were busy getting married this weekend, so they couldn't go to the movies,
It's got to be it.
It's got to be it.
That's it. Seems possible. No, I actually think this might have to do with the success of horror this year, because horror has had a really big year, has had a lot of like big benchmark things. So maybe this, normally if there's like a really killer horror movie on Halloween, that might do well, but like maybe people kind of had their fill of horror a little bit, not necessarily disliking it or anything, but just like seeing a lot of horror movies this year. They weren't like yearning for, this wasn't like the horror weekend like it maybe often feels like. So I wonder if that might have something to do with this. I'm excited to see Bugonia. Did you like it, Jay Scotty?
I loved it. Yeah, I thought it was really good. Like I said, I liked Poor Things quite a bit. So the fact that I'm kind of like, I don't know if I like it more or less than Poor Things is a vote of confidence for sure.
Oh yeah, that's true. I remember you liking I like Poor Things a lot too. So cool. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I meant to mention it too, but worthy of note here, the number 1 and number 2 movies here, Black Phone 2 and Regretting You, both star Mason Thames. So Mason Thames also starred in How to Train Your Dragon. So quite a year for this guy. I don't know if it's the feather in his hat that it might be for other people, because I still don't think he's a household name. And Regretting You, I don't think you look at that film and go, oh, that's a Mason Thames vehicle. But certainly, a quite a claim to fame here that very few actors can tout. So good on Mason Thames.
Maybe that's why the box office didn't do as well. It split the Mason Thames.
Like I was number 1 and number audience. 2 in the worst box office in 31 years.
No, you just leave that out.
Yeah.
But you also have to remember the context too. Halloween was on a Friday, and I think that matters. Sure, people are very busy on Friday for Halloween, and so they're not going to go to the movie theaters. So that matters. The World Series final game was on Saturday. It was massively streamed. It had like millions and millions of viewers. It was a huge moment, and I think a lot of people. You can't catch it there. But yeah, that was a big deal, and I think like that impacts it too. And the movie choice isn't. You don't really. I mean, The Black Phone has been in theaters for a few weeks now. And Regretting You is a rom-com. Those are never going to just do huge numbers at the box office anyway. So you don't, past that, it's like you still got Tron out there, but we kind of know what's happening with that. You still got the K-pop Demon Hunters came back and scraped together a couple million or something. So Mortal Kombat was supposed to be happening now, but that got pushed back. So I think you have to kind of consider that too. We've got other things on the horizon. We've got Wicked for Good. We've got Avatar. We've got like some of these bigger things are still to come. So I think you kind of have to think about that too.
Somehow this October became the dump month because we talked about this September being really good at the box office and how unusual that is. That's not really how it goes. I do think some of these films wanted space, so between these big November movies, Wicked is going to be huge, starring, let's say it, people's sexiest man alive, Jonathan Bailey, 2025. I think it's just going to take over that month. And so, I think it makes sense if people didn't want to release their films. I don't know. It's weird. Again, I keep saying this, but I still haven't been back to the movies since July. So maybe people just don't have time.
That's valid. Okay. That is valid.
Well, speaking of those things to come, we had 2 new trailers, both Scream 7 and Stranger Things. Season 5 released trailers recently. Stranger Things' official trailer showed us a bit more of what to expect from the property, and Scream 7, which releases on February 27th, 2026, gave us a glance at the returning original cast members of Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, Matthew Lillard, and David Arquette. As we discussed last week, Stranger Things will release in 3 parts on holiday weekends, 4 episodes on November 26th, 3 episodes on Christmas Day, and the finale on New Year's Eve. We're at the tail end of Halloween season, but are these trailers sufficiently scary good enough?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to defer to Scotty on the Scream 7 trailer. It's not really my bag, but I did watch the Stranger Things trailer. I thought it was epic. I thought it did everything it needed to do. It looks huge. The budget looks gigantic for it, and it really looks like the Duffer Brothers talked a little bit about how they really got to pull out every idea they've ever had this season, that they've had a lot of ideas. As it goes in a writer's room, you have ideas, you try to flesh them out. Sometimes they don't fully flesh out, and so you think, maybe we can do this type of thing in a later season. But they've talked about how in this last season, since it truly is their last season, they can really kind of push all their chips to the center. If they want to kill characters, if they want to have a certain dramatic scene, if they want to kind of do something in a certain way that maybe they were a little hesitant to do last time, they can really push the envelope. And I think you can feel that from the trailer. So I would imagine the trailer is only showing us stuff from the first few episodes, though, because it doesn't seem like you've got too much forward thinking in the trailer yet, and I think that's probably a good move. I would imagine what would happen is, since there is a little bit of space between these, about a month or so between 1 and 2, and then about a week or 2 between 2 and 3, I would imagine that we're going to get teaser trailers for those blocks. So these are probably for your first block of episodes, and then you'll probably get another teaser after that for your second block of episodes, maybe even at the tail end of that last one of 1, as kind of like a, hey, here's what's coming next on Stranger Things type thing. But I still believe there's a lot of interest in the show. I know the problems that it's had. I know that it's been a long time in the making and it's been stretched out for a long time. I get all that, but I think, nothing kind of brings people back to a show like a good cultural conversation. And I think about when we watched The Nation was basically watching Severance and things like that, and people were watching things like Succession and kind of talking about it. I think this will kind of do a similar thing. I think there'll be a lot of conversation around it. So yeah, I really like the trailer. And I think it's, I'm excited to see this thing wrap up. It's time, but it feels like they really have a true vision for what they want to accomplish with the finale, which I think is really exciting.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the trailer. I thought it looked beautiful. The music for it was epic. The whole thing seemed like they're really building to some big crescendo. My only kind of criticism for it was that it felt a little bit like, I'll say this, each season of Stranger Things to me has felt a little distinct. Like they felt like they were different sort of stories, almost in the style of different movies from the 80s or something. Like a little bit of, like they were going for different things. This felt like a pastiche of Stranger Things, which it's the finale. I think it probably will be. But I guess I wanted to see a little bit of that 80s movie infusion that they sort of pull from different 80s movies to create the different things. This seems like more of a continuation of last season, which I think is going to be what it is. But I'm hoping that we see some of that infusion of new creativity pulled from a different era or a different corner of 80s cinema history, So I'm hoping for that. Vecna looks like Groot. It's just, and sounds like Groot. He's like Vecna, when the vines grow into Vecna and turn into Vecna, and he says What does he say to the kid?
He's like, I'm going to use you one last time, or something like that.
You're going to help me one last time. I am Groot. Like, it's right there. It's not far off. Looks and sounds like. Okay. As for the Scream 7, which I'm excited for, did you guys think you heard Matthew Lillard? We didn't see Matthew Lillard, right?
Mm-mm.
Did you guys hear his voice at the very end?
Debatable.
I think it was his voice.
Might have been.
It's throughout the other trailer, you don't see him, but there's just a voice disembodied voice at the very end of the trailer that says, "We're going to have fun," and it just sounded like Matthew Lillard to me.
I'd have to watch it again.
Could have been from the first movie because that sounds like something he might have said in that first movie. I'm not sure, but overall, it's kind of funny. I really got a Scream meets Taken vibe from the movie because It has Neve Campbell's daughter, Sydney's daughter, in the movie, and getting attacked by Ghostface and Neve Campbell having to help, and it just reminded me a lot of the Taken series, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah. Speaking of Scream 7, I liked a lot of what I saw in the trailer, but I did think it was a little bit of a mixed bag. And to your point, speaking to the end and whether or not it was Matthew Lillard, I think part of the reason I'm struggling to say with confidence is because I thought the trailer was too long. I know it's just a first trailer and we have till February till this movie comes out, but at around the minute 45 mark, that's when I was like, this thing's still going? They've showed us so much already. Like, you can slow down here. So I was ready for it to be over around the minute 45 mark, and it went on for another 30 seconds. So I do think they showed a little bit too much. But like I said, I really did like what I saw, particularly the kind of, and that's a little bit why I said it's a mixed bag. I think I'm pretty easily able to discern those first couple of characters that we see that just feels so much like the opening kill. And maybe they're subverting our expectations, but
for sure.
This film will be just, it's inherently fascinating, and it will definitely be one to keep an eye on because it's had so much impacting it. Like we had, Scream 5 and Scream 6 come out a couple of years ago back to back, did pretty decently, and the numbers got reasonably well received and introduced a new cast of characters. And it really felt we were like off to the races with this new core four. And then the things that happened behind the scenes that resulted in the exit of not only Melissa Barrera, but also Wednesday, Trina Ortega, both of them exiting, and then eventually the director. So I love to see Neve Campbell coming back as Sydney Prescott here. Super, super excited for our close personal friend Matthew Lillard to be a part of the proceedings, and what fashion he shows up in, but. It like, again, I'm just going to say mixed bag because there's so many things to look forward to and to be excited about. The return of Kevin Williams, who wrote the first movie and made that come to fruition alongside Wes Craven. He's taking his first stab as director. No pun intended there. So that could go either way. Like, that could be a really great thing that this guy that's had, so much love and passion for this franchise for so long, or it could go the opposite way where he's just too close to it and has not cut his teeth well enough. But needless to say, I will be catching this one when it comes out, and will be paying very close attention to the discourse surrounding it.
Is this have they announced this as some sort of final installment, or is that just
they haven't? But it does have
one?
that feel to it. It has an air of finality to it. Yeah,
I feel like a few of them ago they acted like that too. So I don't know. I think this might be time to do a Bingers Assemble on this one. I really love the original Scream, and I fell off after 3. So I don't know anything about 4, 5, or 6. So that would be a fun watch for me. And it's been years since I've revisited them, so. May have to do a Bingers Assemble about that if anybody's down.
And I think you can watch them all on the same streaming service. I don't think you have to bounce around to catch them all.
That's insane.
Is it Netflix?
I think it's Paramount Plus.
Yeah, it is Paramount.
Nice.
I was kidding, you guys.
Sorry, sports fans. Sorry.
Get a free trial. Watch one every day. 7 days.
Yeah.
There you go.
On the first day of Scream.
Might be a little much.
Do we... I don't know, you may know this, Jay Scotty. I haven't rewatched the second one in a long time. Do we know that Matthew Lillard's character ever died? Do we know that?
He hasn't popped up since the first one, and he did have a death scene.
he has a death scene, but like it's the thing that happens to him is kind of survivable.
Sure.
I think.
Sure.
I just can't remember if in the second one, I know they say, I don't know why I'm trying to not spoil Scream from 1996, but like, it's just such a great ending. I don't want to spoil it too bad, but like, so if you haven't watched it, go watch Scream. It's so good. But, I know one of the characters died because they say that in future movies, but I do not remember if they say that his character, because it could just be like, in prison somewhere or something. We could just find out he never actually died. I could see that.
Could be.
It's been a long time. Okay.
Avengers Assemble. We'll find out.
Yeah, let's do it. We're gonna come back in a second with the lightning round. We got a lot of things coming up. A Conjuring prequel movie in the works, because of course there is. Call of Duty is coming to the big screen. The Beatles biopic casts leading ladies and more. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Multiverse News. Ooh, my voice is a little tired from singing and screaming at the wedding. Well, you guys, hey, we have a Patreon. If you like this show, if you want to keep it going, if you want to help us by supporting the show and supporting our lovely experience making it, you can go to patreon.com/multiverse newscast, and you can throw $4 a month to us. It's like less than $1 an episode, and you just feel great about supporting the show, but you also get access to ad-free episodes. You get access to special tangent talks that we do from time to time, little special episodes that only go to the patrons, and things like that. So yeah, please check it out. Patreon.com/multiverse newscast. And this week we have a patron of the week. It's our friend Megan Lachowski.
She has corrected you on air.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I forgot. I'm sorry, Megan.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry, Megan.
It was a bit. It wasn't real.
It was a bit. Sorry, Megan. Well, let's turn to our Spotify poll. The question was asked, should the Scarlet Witch show up in Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars? Let's see. 7.4% of you said neither. Ooh, some Wanda hate. Just kidding. Don't necessarily hate. You might just think her character arc is over. Doomsday, we got 9.3% of you said. Both said 31.5% of you, and the majority, 51.9%, said Secret Wars only. So what do you guys think?
I think the people that said neither can just unfollow and peace out and bye.
It is funny, like, being that way, like, reading that and just being like, you know what? Neither of them. Just, like, smashing that button.
Wasn't it, Jay?
No, it was not me. I'm struggling to, like, get my head around just being a neither person. And I don't know. Somebody tell me, like, your logic, I guess. Like, I don't, or don't if you're a weirdo. But, maybe in the comments or something. Maybe tell me your logic or something.
Can't help themselves.
I'd like to know.
I could see there being a contingent. I mean, of the just make death matter crowd.
I can. I get that. Yeah, I get that.
But the thing is, you're doing the multiverse saga, so death doesn't matter. And not that death doesn't matter, but like there are infinite number of all of the characters. So
we also have another Wanda.
Exactly. Wanda's death can matter. All these other things can happen, and you can still have like an appearance from some version of Wanda out in the multiverse that shows up for a minute. So I think we're gonna get everybody in these movies. I think they're gonna try to top Endgame with the number of characters they're packing in. You know.
Yeah, I did wonder a little bit if this was a case of like, not to take anything away from anybody or challenge anybody's comprehension abilities, but I wondered if this was like. Instead of people thinking, what do I want them to show up in, or what should they show up in? What are they most likely to show up in? Because I thought we laid out some pretty compelling arguments why she should show up in Doomsday with everybody in the X-Men and whatnot, but maybe not.
Oh yeah, that's true. With the X-Men, just the entire like Magneto possibly being around. Isn't one of the Magnetos already announced? McKellen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
hopefully we'll get both.
A chair.
He did get a chair. Yeah,
he needs a chair at that age.
Remember the chairs? Good times.
Yeah,
the chairs. That was a great moment.
I can't believe you guys are nostalgic for the chairs. Come on, guys.
I miss the chairs.
They made you,
I want more chairs.
They made you watch chairs for like 4 hours, and you're nostalgic for it.
Times used to be so simple. We'd just be watching those chairs.
Like 6 months ago.
All right, well, let's move into our lightning round. This is where I'm going to read a story, and then we will each have an opportunity to claim that story by shouting out our name. Once you've claimed the story, you get to respond to that story. And if you just cannot resist, you get one rebuttal per lightning round. And here we go. A Conjuring prequel film is in development at Warner Brothers and New Line, with short film director Rodrigue Huart in talks to direct. Franchise veterans Richard Nang and Ian Goldberg, who co-wrote the two prior Conjuring films, 2023's The Nun 2 and this September's The Conjuring Last Rites, are on board to pen the screenplay.
Scotty, can you say cash grab? Let's say cash grab, because if you listen to any of the episodes we did recently where we were talking about how well The Conjuring The Last Rites did, this is a no-brainer. Of course, they're going to milk this franchise for everything they can. Now, I do look at the talent attached, and I think it's pretty interesting, and that's why I lean to cash grab. I haven't seen The Conjuring The Last Rites. Still really don't know why. I've thought about it a couple of times, but it is over 2 hours. And I know I'm, constantly 2 hours and 15 minutes for blockbusters, but for whatever reason, I have just not been super enticed to spend over 2 hours in the Conjuring world in theaters for whatever reason. Just not feeling it. But yeah, looking back at The Nun 2, I did see that movie. It was bad. It was worse than the first one, and that is saying something. And then this guy Rodrigue Huart, I'm not sure, but the fact that he's going from short films, they can't even cite any full length features he's done. I think that speaks to the cast. Maybe he's very talented in the short films that he's done, but I think they are probably getting him at a very low cost. And again, they're gonna cash grab.
Wasn't the Conjuring Last Rites supposed to be the last one? Didn't they say that? They're like, this is the last one. I guess that's why this promise.
Is a prequel.
And then they were like, wait a minute, look at that number go up. We're doing another one.
I'm guessing it's the last one for that cast and everything. And it's probably like those characters have become, those characters were kind of, I know Ashley is a lover of those stories, for, the real Warrens. Life people or whatever, the Warrens. And so, I have a feeling it's just one of those things where like they've now completed the saga with those actors, and now they're like, yeah, but there's still enough interest. Let's like reboot it kind of with a new cast and tell some stories in between those movies. There's plenty of stories to tell. So makes sense, I think. All right, up next, after landing the rights to turn one of the world's biggest video games into an epic movie, Paramount has now landed 2 A-list filmmakers to development. Sources tell Deadline that Yellowstone creator Taylor Sheridan and Peter Berg have joined Paramount and Activision to develop and produce a Call of Duty movie, with Paramount distributing a live-action feature film.
Scotty, I haven't played a Call of Duty video game in earnest since Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which I think was like circa 2012, 2013. So it's been a while since I've been super interested in the world of Call of Duty. But I look at the talent attached here, and Taylor Sheridan is a filmmaker that I enjoy quite a bit. And I really haven't checked out any of his TV offerings, and whether that's a result of it being on Paramount or what have you, I'm not really sure, but it just hasn't been super interesting to me. But I do look back at his previous body work. He did Hell or High Water, Wind River with Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen. I really love those films. So he actually, the first thing I ever saw him in was Sons of Anarchy. He had a role in the first couple of seasons, and I know he was a writer on that show for at least a few seasons. So I'm kind of excited for Taylor Sheridan. He's making the exit from Paramount, and they're talking about him maybe going over to Netflix. And I know that's kind of in conflict with what we're talking about here with Paramount distributing the movie, but I think it does speak to some desire for them to keep him in the fold, and they know how talented he is, and they want to keep him happy. But yeah, what a Call of Duty movie will be about in this modern era, I'm not so sure. There's been so many characters, but for my purposes and my experience, I think they would be best served to go back to the modern warfare era. Those video games just got recently remade and re-released, and I think they did pretty well. But that's the only instance where I'm like, there are actual character names that I can give you. Soap McTavish, Captain Price, and those are really great and memorable characters that I would love to see adapted on the big screen.
Hulu has ordered 2 more seasons of the revived King of the Hill animated series, the 16th and 17th overall, and the 3rd and 4th seasons as a streaming original. Season 14 premiered in August and is the first half of Hulu's initial 2-season, 20-episode order. Season 15 is set to debut in 2026.
Jay, the King of the Hill, I've said on this podcast before, the revival is really, really great. It just really walks such a great line between the original and having respect for the original and having the same sort of humor and vibe of the original, but also dealing with modern issues and like modern situations that the original wouldn't have really been able to deal with, like how times have changed. And so I think it's really fantastic, and I would recommend it to anybody who I think it appeals to a lot of different people, and I think if you never even watched King of the Hill, I think you could start watching the revival and totally be able to jump right into it. So I think this is a good move. Hulu is kind of thriving on a few different properties, and they're phasing some out, like Solar Opposites just wrapped up. You know, you've got some of their animation kind of closing the door, so it totally makes sense to reinvest in what works. You know, this and Futurama and those ones that have a fan base already built in.
Talking about dang old Hank Hill.
Sam Mendes's 4 Beatles films have filled out the cast by adding the spouses of the 4 band members. Saoirse Ronan will play Linda McCartney, Anna Sawai will play Yoko Ono, Amy Lou Wood will play Patty Boyd, and Mia McKenna Bruce will play Maureen Starkey.
Haley. This is great casting. Saoirse Ronan is definitely the biggest name, but Anna Sawai and Amy Lou Wood, definitely up-and-comers, especially in TV. We saw Anna in Shogun, and Amy Lou Wood, of course, was breakout in White Lotus recently. So, and then Mia McKenna Bruce is going to be in a Netflix series that's coming out, I think I saw today in January. It's a Agatha Christie adaptation. So kind of a fun across-the-board casting, and I just am going to be interested to see the Yoko Ono.
Yeah, that's the one that matters the most.
Ariana Grande has joined the cast of season 13 of American Horror Story, which is currently on track to debut around Halloween 2026. Matt, this show's still on? Goodness, 13 seasons?
Ryan Murphy's gonna bleed that stone till it's dead dry.
I thought, like, I watched the first maybe season and a half or something, thinking like, hey, it's got this big sweeping thing of all these different seasons, and at that point it was like 6 seasons maybe, and now I just can't. I'm glad I fell off. I can't handle 13 seasons of that scariness.
The lead gets buried a little though. Jessica Lange and Evan Peters will be in this season too.
Ooh, Jessica Lange and Evan Peters.
Sarah Paulson's coming back. I don't know if she's been in all the other seasons, but yeah, I think she's coming back too.
Sweet. Toho has officially revealed the title for its next Godzilla feature that will serve as a sequel to Godzilla -1 as Godzilla -0. All right. Is it? That's just Godzilla.
Yeah, it's
anything
just
minus
Godzilla
zero is just Godzilla.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that math?
The film will once again be written, directed, and produced by the same team behind 2023's Godzilla -1. Currently, there are no plot details, but the studio is currently targeting a release date in late 2026.
Scotty, this is a little bit of a mixed bag because I loved Godzilla -1. If you didn't know that, you're hearing it now. Go back and listen. Jay and I actually covered the episode on a multiverse review. And yeah, we both were really taken with the film. I think it is one of the best examples of where we've seen, in the Hollywood machine, you can take something like Godzilla and make it pretty soulless. And like on the one hand, we have the legendary monster movies where it's just like put giant characters that I really don't care about on the screen and just make it all spectacle, and it works. But then you are able to return to the roots of the character. I struggle to say character when it comes to Godzilla because he's more of a force than a real character. But so I'm excited to revisit the world, have the very talented team that made that first film all coming back. But I hate the title, -0. Like, I get it. People have that connection to -1. So that seems like the next logical thing there to just do -0. But it's a tough pill to swallow for me. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. It sounds stupid. There are a lot of other things that we could have called this thing. The one aspect that I do like about it that I just picked up on looking at the copy here, because it says Godzilla -0.0, it kind of looks like the little face going like, oh, Godzilla's here, I better run. So
it definitely
if they do something with the logo and the marketing, maybe it'll be salvaged for me, but not super likely. We'll see.
Yeah, I kind of wish they just said Godzilla 0, because it would have been like
Ground Zero,
Godzilla -1, kind of. Then the next step would be 0, not -0. Godzilla -0 equals Godzilla. I don't know. It is a weird title.
T- or something.
Yeah, a T-0. That could be good. Yeah, something.
What were you reading?
I was reading the script today, just reading it aloud, and my partner and I, my wife and I, just argued about like why that title was dumb. We both had completely different takes on why it was dumb. We both thought it was dumb though, and I hate that because I did, like you said, Scotty, you guys have talked about how good this the first one is. I still haven't caught it.
Great.
I need to catch it.
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz are going back to the desert for The Mummy 4. The film will be directed by the duo known as Radio Silence, composed of Martin Bettinelli Open and Tyler Gillette, who directed 2019's Ready or Not. Matt, I love The Mummy. I love this series of movies from way back. I saw them all in theaters as a kid and just love them. And love Rachel. I've said it, I think, on this podcast and other podcasts before. Rachel Weisz was like one of my only like true Hollywood crushes.
Oh yeah, and every other boy ever.
Well, I feel like there's a lot of them. There's a lot of Hollywood starlets or whatever that have big followings, but for some reason Rachel Weisz was just like was the one that I was like, I think I love her. But I also love Brendan Fraser in these movies so much. I think I've actually pointed this out before, I think maybe on the MCU cast, that I think that the tone of The Mummy is what Marvel went on to do and make $1 billion with. Yeah. It is very much the like action, adventure, comedy with stakes, but like always with a quip, and like that sort of Marvel tone that we've gotten used to now. I think The Mummy kind of like is proto Marvel in a way. And so like I love it. I'm not surprised that my love for this was so great when I was a kid. And so I'm just really excited for them to come back. And with Brendan Fraser having did he win the Oscar, right? He won the Oscar, or he was just nominated?
I don't know.
No, he won the year for
The Whale?
For The Whale.
Correct. Yeah.
So, with him having a resurgence, both like in awards acclaim, but also kind of fan base rallying around him and everything like we've seen. It's cool to see him step into this old role that like I think we all have. I don't know. Maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but I know a lot of people that have a great affection for The Mummy.
I think it's a millennial staple.
Yeah, if you're going to make it, now's the time. I mean, we've all seen the Brendan Fraser saunts. I think people are in on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody's seen that clip of him getting the standing ovation for The Whale whenever it was first premiered, and like how genuinely he's just completely in awe, of the moment that he's in. Like, it's a great, and if you don't know anything about Brendan Fraser's story, it's too long to go into here, but if you go look up kind of his journey through Hollywood, it has not been the best journey. He has been met with a lot of challenges throughout his acting career. And so, if you're going to do it, like, now's the time, because I think people are really on that Brendan Fraser kind of like resurgence train. And they tried to reboot The Mummy with other people, and it just didn't really do what the last ones did. And yeah, I like what you pointed out there about the millennials. Like, I think millennials have an affection for this type of film. So yeah, I'm all in on that. I think it's a great move.
You know who else I think has an affection for this type of film? Dwayne Johnson. Calling it now. Dwayne Johnson is going to find a way to get himself shoehorned into this thing as the Scorpion King. Yep.
Yeah. Scorpion King is back, baby.
Go Google the Scorpion King CGI. It's so much worse than you remember. Like, you think it's so bad. In your head, you think it's bad. But then when you look at the actual image, you'll be like, wow, that's so much worse.
It's like a PlayStation 2 video game.
It really, it's worse than that. It's so bad.
So bad.
So bad.
And yeah, we all fell for it back then. It's crazy. I'm also, the actress who took over for The Mummy 3 when Rachel Weisz departed the series, she was fine. She's great. Nothing against her, but I am very glad that Rachel Weisz is back. I feel like those two had really great chemistry. And so, as I've said, I love her. All right. Well, that's all our stories for tonight, guys. Let's go around and tell people where they can find us online, what we've got going on. Haley Hobbs, what you got going on?
Ryan and I are reading Secret Wars comics, and we hope that the Scarlet Witch show's back up. And then Ashley and I are still doing Outlander. We're getting close to the end of season 2, and then you can catch Unqualified Opinions, where we're having lots of fun just being ourselves.
Awesome. And Jay Sisson.
Yeah, we put out a rebroadcast on Commute the Podcast this week. We did not have a new episode, but we're shooting to have one next week. So if you could go subscribe over there if you've never done that, that would be great.
Yeah. And Jay Scotty St. Clair.
Not too much to plug outside of this show, so I'll just plug the Stranded Panda Network in general. Go check out the host of shows that we have there. There's something for everybody. A lot that we've mentioned on here, whether it's Always Watching or Bingers Assemble or the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's a lot of great shows there for you.
Absolutely.
On Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. I do that a lot for some reason. I forget the podcast.
That's good. So the one we always do is everyone calls Bingers Assemble Bingers, which I'm sure there's probably a podcast called Bingers. So we probably promote that podcast all the time.
I have to check. Is it Bingers Assembled or Bingers Assemble? That's what I got to check myself on. Yeah.
That's funny. I have not recorded anything in like a week and a half, and it's been weird. I've missed it. So we'll be dropping a new MCU cast in the next couple days, and we're going to be back on doing this full time. And I think we're going to be trying to do some sort of Bingers Assemble soon, because I really enjoy doing that series. And I don't think we've got any big Pandavisions except for maybe Stranger Things or not Pandavision. Always Watching. I mean, it's been too many weeks.
Ashley and I are keeping that show afloat.
Currently.
Oh yeah, that's true. You guys are doing. I've been airing currently, but yeah, you guys are doing Outlander. Are you doing anything else right now?
No, but that's every week.
Yeah. No, you're right. Sorry. I just meant
sorry,
like
it's not enough.
currently airing stuff. You're right. Absolutely. But I guess I just meant I don't have anything on Always Watching right now. But I really want to do a good binge lately. We did something recently. We did Tron recently, and it was a lot of fun. So I want to do more of that. I miss that. I miss doing that show more. All right, well, guys. Well, we'll be back here on Multiverse News very, very soon. Peace.
You stay classy, Multiverse.
Hey, thanks for listening to Multiverse News, or watching it, or whatever you're doing. Eyeballs or ear holes, whichever thing. We do this show every week, and we appreciate you listening. StrandedPanda.com is where you can find all of our podcasts. And thank you for listening. Check us out wherever you get podcasts. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the little bell icon, whatever you have on whatever service you're doing. Rate us, like us. We're really thirsty. That's what I'm saying.